Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Geek and Dorks Reviews. I'm John Lorden, and today we're going to talk about one that might be a little hard to find. It's currently available on YouTube. Take that with a grain of salt, because a lot of times YouTube takes down these kind of unauthorized copies. I haven't been able to find it anywhere else, although it did look like there's a few websites that kind of specialize in documentaries that are also hosting it, so hopefully you'll be able to dig it up. It is called Madness in the Fast Lane, and it is a BBC documentary. It is only about 48 minutes long or something. Seems like it was made primarily for broadcast on BBC, but I highly recommend that you try to check this thing out. So let me give you just kind of a brief synopsis on this. Imagine you have twin sisters from Sweden. They leave Ireland and go to England, and they're traveling to London. They're on a bus, and the bus driver thinks it's a little strange that they're clutching their bags, and they won't give him the bag to put in the undercarriage of the bus, so he's no longer comfortable with them being on the bus. So they decide to go walking on a freeway, basically in the kind of median section of what is known as M6. And the authorities show up. Luckily, there are cameras all over that, and people see that they're walking in this median. They call out the police. The police go to help these women, get them out of the median, and then the women go running off into traffic. One of the sisters runs into traffic on 3 separate occasions, and she gets hit pretty bad after the last one. The other sister gets hit by a big truck, also known as a lorry. I learned that thanks to watching this documentary. And basically her legs get crushed under the wheels of it. Horrible things going on here. After the other sister is hit by one car, she tries to run off again away from the police. She punches a police officer. And even in the clips, you can hear them screaming. Their names are Sabina and Ursula Eriksson. And you hear them screaming some very strange things. At one point, you hear them say to the officers, "You're trying to take my organs." The officers are assuming that these women are under some type of drug, under the influence of some type of illegal narcotic or something to that effect. And that is just the beginning of the mystery of the Eriksson twins and what goes on kind of as fallout from all of this. Eventually one gets released only within a few days, and unfortunately she goes on to commit a pretty horrendous crime. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, just know that there are numerous twists and turns in this documentary. It is extremely well done. It's better than news coverage, but it does kind of feel a bit like news coverage. You've got narration going on, a ton of actual footage from the scene. Luckily, the police officers had a TV show crew that was rolling with them, I guess, for their version of what we would consider cops here in the US. So there are cameras on the scene, cameras in the car as they're taking one sister back to the police station. So there's plenty of real footage. They do use some recreated footage, but it is very well marked, and it's really in very small doses. Most of what you're going to see is real footage about this case. And it's really tough. You go through this documentary wondering, what was the motivation? What was going on with these two that would cause them to do something like this? And it is definitely a brain scratch. I had a lot of viewers actually suggest that I cover that case for a brain scratch. I don't know that there's enough quite there for me to do anything outside of what you would see in this documentary. So in lieu of me doing a proper brain scratch on it, I really recommend you check out Madness in the Fast Lane. Even has a little bit of licensed music right at the end, which kind of appropriately fits what I guess you could consider the conclusion to this whole story. But it is really the mystery that is the best thing about this documentary. It is just, my brain is still twisting around trying to figure out what could have really motivated these women to do all these very bizarre acts. And even the analysis that you kind of end up with, I don't know if it leaves enough room for question, let me just say. I really don't want to spoil it for you guys, because you have to take this documentary on for yourself and go through the whole ride of it. But it caused me to research more information about the case after, which is a very good sign for me when I'm watching one of these documentaries. But it also is an indicator that the conclusion that you get to might not be wholly satisfying. So it might send you, here's just a little warning, might send you on a little research fit where you go looking for more information and seeing if you could figure out some of the aftermath for yourself. So it is definitely a brain scratcher. It is a head shaker. With some of the twists, I literally found myself shaking my head at the screen going, just what are these two doing? How is this happening? What? And it does ask some other questions about the justice system, about is the justice system working properly? About the police, how did that one sister get released only within a couple days of doing something this crazy where she's running out openly into traffic time and time again and assaulting a police officer and all that? It really asks some very tough questions. I don't know that it wraps it all up, but like I said, this is only, I think it was 48 minutes or something like that. It's not a full-blown movie where you might expect that they spend more time, talk to more experts, and kind of research it out and bring you to a bit of a firmer conclusion. A bit more like a news segment, but it does kind of have a finite end, so at least you're not going to be left with a bunch of questions in your lap. There are some type of explanations that will be dished out to you. So for me, I rate this, it's a 7.5 out of 10. Pretty solid. It's not as artistic as a lot of the stuff that I review, particularly for you guys in this kind of mystery documentary vein. It's a bit more straightforward, as I described before. It feels a bit more like news reporting, but you can't beat the access that they had to this. It's fortunate for the production that there were so many cameras on the scene when all this was going on, that they were able to get that footage and able to use it for this. And I think ultimately you will have time well spent by taking a look into this case, but I am not responsible for all the time you spend after it wondering what the heck was going on. All right, everyone. Thank you to the viewers that suggested that to me. I really appreciate it. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I do also keep a list of suggestions for this show. I literally have an Excel sheet. One is brain scratch ideas, the other one is searchlight topics, and the third one is what I call itchy mysteries. As a matter of fact, I'm seriously considering renaming this show to Itchy Mysteries, because I'm really not doing the types of reviews I used to do here, like with modern movies and stuff like that. So you might see that little change happen in the future. I'm also seriously considering a rebranding of the channel. I'll talk to you guys more about that on Johnny Vlogs as that becomes a bit more closer to reality. And of course, I will ask for your help. So if any of you have interesting names or thoughts on what the channel name should be and stuff like that, get those ready. I'll be certainly asking you for that information on an episode of Johnny Vlogs very soon. I hope you guys are having a great week. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me here in the screening room. Take care, everyone, and I'll catch you on the next show on the Geek and Dorks channel.